All right, it's Saturday. I got my coffee. What about you? I'm your host, Daniel Crozier. This is COFOH Live and Undead, and I am joined with the amazing Smurf from 5280 Geek. Ah! Do I have something on my face? Smurf, how are you, sir?
Hello, sir, and how are you? I am fantastic.
I am grand.
Brad,
It's grand. It's so
Brad,
good to see you. I've
good seeing you.
missed your face.
Oh, I missed yours.
Yeah. What have you been up to? I understand you've been doing some remodeling. Ooh, you're drinking from your goblet.
The Smurf goblet of happiness, right there.
Smurf juice.
I did. It is Smurf juice. I tore a bathroom out down to the studs and remodeled the entire thing. That wasn't enough though. So the collection room, I decided that I'm going to put in bookcasing, shelving, and recess it with lighting and glass shelves for the statues to be displayed properly. So I'm amongst that construction and remodel.
Oh
It's
man.
it's gnarly.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be pretty fantastic when it's all said and done.
Fingers crossed.
Oh man. Yeah, Smurf, it's been what 7 or 8 months since we really were able to see each other on a screen like this. I think.
I think so.
Uh, Yeah, and you seem to never stop. You're in a new studio. You're setting up 5280, Geek at a new studio, right? And you're doing all these film projects too.
So we've got a new studio that we launched at the beginning of the year, where the podcast is now recorded video as well as audio. So you can go to Spotify for the podcast. Actually, you can hit any your favorite hosts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, all of that, so you can hear the podcast. But if you go to YouTube, now we have a video channel, and we're going to have all sorts of shenanigans. It's 5280 Geek on YouTube, so we'll have the podcast there. So we're doing toy reviews and comparisons. So like we just did a review of like the new Masters of the Universe figures that got released versus the old school ones back to our day,
Cool.
you know.
Yeah.
But we'll be doing more reviews like that. In addition to, we're doing geeky cocktails. So we go to the Taste Buds Kitchen, which is right next to the tasting room and the studio, because we do film food in there. We do like videos for cooking and preparing. We have classes that you can come in and I'll show you how to cook something. And you purchase a package and we send you the package and you cook those ingredients. So we've got that on the kitchen. But I'm doing geeky cocktails. This week was the Sarlacc, which is essentially an old fashioned with a glass lined with absinthe. And it's very tasty. I know you're like, that's gonna just mess you all kinds of up.
Yeah.
So
later,
yeah, exactly. Well, later you feel like you just got spit out by a giant desert worm. So it's really not as bad as you would think. But will you have other projects that will be coming?
Experience.
It is from the ground up, quite literally. So, but we have more projects like that coming. We'll be at Outworld Brewery next week doing a video with those guys. We also have our sponsor, Susie Q's, who sponsors the podcast, who will have actually in studio to talk about her jewelry that she makes. In addition to, she's like a blacksmith. like a legitimate blacksmith. So just to go see if she has like an anvil and hammer in her kitchen. I'm really anxious to just see what Susie's setup is. So we'll be doing that. And we've got like other like creative character owned stuff that we've been working on. So we're excited. Lots of stuff. We've been busy.
You guys are, man, you guys are rocking. I'm definitely intrigued with the segments that you're doing with, doing recipes and all that jazz. I mean, I think that's fantastic.
Well, I mean, you and I have been to I don't know how many cons together, and the one thing that we always do, it comes down to the cocktails. It always is the drinking, and
well,
it's always
you.
Yeah, for me. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like it's not a convention unless Smurf's properly sauced.
At least half in the bag. I mean, it just honestly depends, because everyone always wonders in my mug, is it coffee or is it a cocktail or is it wine? Right. So it's always a guessing game. And where is the box of wine? It really, because one year it could be under the Star-Lord helmet. Another year it could be somewhere else. One year we disguised it as a plant. So there are tricks. There are tricks.
Nice.
But why not bring that to the podcast? I mean, might as well share my expertise.
Well, and yeah, rightly so too. Like you got kind of that captive audience that needs, more things to do.
Well, at this point, I think alcohol is probably the glue holding a lot of people together. And why not strengthen that bond? Let's give them something to create. So it's fun. Alcohol is fun as long as you drink responsibly.
Right.
There's your ad claimer.
Your disclaimer, yeah.
There's your disclaimer.
Wine not.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh man, and so I brought you on here today. Well, one, you've got an amazing career because you used to be on the radio, and now you've been doing like different versions of 5280 for as long as I've known you, right?
5280 is going into its 6th year. I was with another media outlet before that, but I've been doing this particular kind of format since 2012, just before 2012, because I left radio and then went into this. So I've been doing this, and then of course the independent film. We're doing a couple of projects. And we're into Shoot from the Hip 3 right now, which is just nonsense. It really, I'm Juice Jones. I am Detective Juice Jones. Make of that name what you will, but that is who I am. And I take a young fledgling detective under my wing, and just nonsense ensues from there.
Oh, that's fantastic. When I look at you, I think, detective and juice.
And juice. See, it works.
Yeah. I was just like, look, he's like a little grapefruit squeeze.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Violet, you're turning violet, Violet.
If I knew the Oompa Loompa song, I would sing it right now.
Right. I just roll myself off. Oh man. Oh jeez. Did you ever watch the Johnny Depp Tim Burton version?
I did. It was okay. No one beats Gene Wilder. I mean, come on. I mean, you can't.
Yeah. I love the original version with Gene Wilder too. That's a high benchmark.
Yeah, it is. And as much as I love Tim Burton and Johnny Depp's awkwardness, you just can't. The crazy eyes that Gene Wilder gets, especially like the psychedelic canoe ride that they go on, and I think we just see basically Gene Wilder go insane at that point. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, Depp can't even come close to that. He doesn't have that range.
No, not at all. Well, Smurf, I brought you on here to talk about horror video games. I mean, with your expert knowledge of pop culture and geek culture and everything, that's just a realm that I know nothing about. And I know we have viewers out there that they love video games. They love horror video games. It is, in fact, the number one creative medium in the U.S. Surpasses films and everything like that too. But I know nothing about this. When I watch a movie, it's usually while I'm drawing. If I get bored, I go draw. If I'm even more bored, I clean the house and then I go build something, or I start a film project, or maybe start an event. Who knows?
So
But
no, go ahead.
I just wanted to kind of get like an intro guide into your knowledge of horror, video games, video games in general.
So I've found, and this is the weirdest thing because now we don't have winter, but I was always playing like horror games during the winter when you're sheltering in place, and
Right.
it just kind of coincided, and I think it freaked me out even more with some of the games because
Oh,
okay, so
right.
you get like Resident Evil, you get Silent Hill. I mean, you can even throw Gears. The original Gears was kind of a horror-based game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, Resident Evil I got bored with the first one. In fact, when it was
Okay.
on, I think it was Nintendo, or no, it was Super
You say
Nintendo. Um,
Super Nintendo. Okay.
yeah, I got bored with it, and I never finished the first game.
No
Which I
kidding.
know I know I shall probably lose my geek card for that one, but
That was
I
back
got
in the '90s, right?
bored with it. Yeah. So I kind of stepped away from the games and then came
Mhm.
back to it. So, and I think we're in a new, I don't know, revolution of horror games because there are
Right.
some absolutely frightening ones out there.
Yeah.
So I got like a list of
Okay.
starting from like the lower ones, and then I'll give you my two top horror games that I think every not only video game connoisseur should play, but every
Okay.
horror enthusiast. Because I think when you're
Oh,
dealing
nice.
with horror games, I think it takes the movie element to like the next level because it throws you
Right.
into the game. It is absolutely, some of these games are terrifying, and not only from the jump scare standpoint, like
Yeah.
your early Resident Evil, your original Gears of War, because you've got the jump scare, you've got the monsters coming up out of the ground, and
Yep.
it's great. But the psychological nonsense that these new games deliver is
Mm.
just, my brother says it'll give you hemorrhoids. It makes your sphincter tighten so much
Ooh.
you get a
Ooh.
hemorrhoid. Yes, exactly. Because him and I
Ooh.
have done a couple of games. So unlike the lower end, you've got the zombie button mashers. So you got Left 4 Dead, which is kind of
Mhm.
like, it's okay. It's like, that is for sure like a Romero film. So you've got everybody running from zombies. You're running around with, of course, the shotgun, which is the most effective
Yeah.
zombie killer. But I mean, it's pretty straightforward, simple, just like Resident Evil. And then you also have like Dead Rising and Walking Dead. Walking
The
Dead is a
Walking Dead.
very
Yeah.
that one is very interesting, especially with Clementine, which is the character that they created for the Walking Dead game.
Right.
And you just get, at the end of that game, I was pissed. I had no satisfaction at the end of that game. I was just like,
Just didn't.
no, well, I didn't like the outcome. I was like, you dirty motherfuckers. So, I mean, the problem with the Walking Dead game is it really, if you're not paying attention to your button sequence, you can make some seriously bad mistakes and just wreck what
Oh
you're
yeah.
doing. Yeah, there's characters that I think you can save some, but if you're not on your button mashing skills, they're done. They're
Oh,
right out. um,
jeez.
so you've got that. You got Dead Rising, which was, it kind of happened in the early aughts. You're in a
Mm-hmm.
shopping mall, and the zombies start to attack. So you're building all
Right.
these makeshift weapons, and you're just kind of trying to get out of the shopping mall, and of course, again, like Romero style, you've got everybody just kind of running around, and it's fun, it's entertaining, but it's very
Not
simplistic.
challenging.
No, well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's challenging from the standpoint of them trying to get you from running from one side to the other, and it takes a little bit of time to figure out. Now, I think horror games should be, I don't think simple, but it shouldn't be like this massive solving problem dilemma. And I think that's probably why Resident Evil just pissed me off. I'll probably revisit it someday. But I didn't care about solving all the goddamn puzzles. I just wanted to I want the story. Give me the story. House on Haunted Hill, assholes. I'm done. So that was kind of it.
You want the drama and the kind of that human condition feeling.
Yeah, I mean, and of those games, they have made horror films. And I mean, Silent Hill was kind of disappointing. I mean, I don't think they've ever really made a good video game movie. They really haven't.
When it comes to translating from video game to film, what do you think is the most successful?
Well, I mean, from the standpoint of success, I mean, you got to look at Resident Evil, but the problem is they didn't. I mean, they left that story so far in the dust. I mean, I mean, Mila Jovovich in a post-apocalyptic Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome setting, that never happened in the game. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
On that, I have no frame of reference because I've seen only a handful of those films. And the ones that stick out to me is the Mad Max one. What was that, number 4? Was it Annihilation
3,
or something?
4. I don't know. I mean, it just got so convoluted with the timeline. Yeah. The first one. Okay, they took some key elements from the game, which was nice to see, but that's, I think, where they get it wrong, is they don't use the story. Because Silent Hill could have really been scary, but they just needed to focus on what the story is for the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and as far as the Silent Hill, the first movie, I enjoyed that, and then I couldn't get through its sequel. But based on the video game, it's I've still got no frame of reference other than some of the characters that show up. And
now, when you look at the movie side that go to video games, I think one of the most successful ones, and I think it's one of the most enjoyable for me, is the Friday the 13th game.
Oh, cool!
So wow. It's awesome. There are 6 different Jasons in the game, and of course, it reads like any normal Friday the 13th. You're a counselor, and you're running for your life.
Very simple.
Very simple, but it does just kind of
like an adaptation of the film script.
Who knew? it's a success for movies and video games. So you get a rotation, and depending upon your level, you get all these different Jasons to choose from. Gunny Sack Jason, Hellborn Jason, where he's on flames.
Yeah.
You got one that comes out of the water and he's all kind of swollen. Each one's got different abilities, but you're a counselor, and you have to escape Crystal Lake, whether it be by boat, on foot, calling the cops, driving out of there. So there's a lot of different elements to the game, and it's online, so you got all these other people trying to work together, or you just, if you're playing with your brother, you sacrifice him to Jason, while you fix the car and drive away. It's great.
Right. Oh man, that's that sounds fantastic. Did you say there's Space Jason in that too? Jason X?
No, there's not a Jason X. They cut it at Jason from Hell. There is one. Okay. There's one basic. I wish they had Jason X, Space Jason, because that would be awesome. Nice. And I think one of the finishing, because each Jason has a special killing move, like you can hang people on trees or rip their spleens out. There's some great kills, but I would really like Space Jason, and he can do a moonwalk on you. Great. But yeah,
That
there's
would
like,
be pretty funny.
yes, I think so. But there's like a Jason from each film in the game, so it's fun.
Cool.
But it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't get too creepy from a scary standpoint. More strategy. You hear the music start, and
Yeah.
it basically is, kill your brother. How long can you stay alive as you're running away? And
Nice.
there's some strategy to it. It's kind of fun, but the generator, getting gas, finding the car keys. So it's fun. It's not bad.
Cool. Man, that's pretty fun. The when thinking back on all these video games, um, like back in the 90s, I back when I go as far back as the 80s when my parents brought home the NES system, and I was playing Super Mario Brothers and whatever else that came along, Indiana Jones type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What yeah is there like an era that you prefer as far as like video games and video game consoles?
I mean, that's a good question. I go, well, without really dating myself, I go as far back as the original ColecoVision, where it looked like a remote control and it had buttons on
Right.
the side.
I
I had
remember that.
that Atari 2400. I mean, I love the classics, but at the same point, I'm I'm an Xbox guy. I
Mhm.
can't deny it. I got the new Xbox. It's
Oh, cool.
spectacular. It's the size of a subwoofer. I mean, the thing is massive. So yeah,
Dude.
I know. But I mean, I still like the side scrollers. I really get like with like the Indiana Jones game or
Yeah.
those are fun to me, and I really do get into like the 8-bit and 16-bit games just because the art and it's kind of nostalgic for me. So yeah, I'll go with that.
Nice. That's pretty cool. The are you playing anything now that really stands out?
Um, right
You,
now, well, Xbox Game Pass was like $1, so I'm getting in like Star Wars, some of the Star Wars games that came out. Like, there's the Jedi game where you're trying to. It's like right after the Purge, after Order 66 or 88, and I've gotten into that. And then of course the Samurai Jack game, which I absolutely
yeah.
love, and I can't talk highly enough about that game. It's
Oh,
so good.
cool.
Um, from a like a horror game, and this was on the Switch, and I don't really know if you can call it horror, but this you would probably really love this game was Luigi's Haunted Mansion 3,
Oh,
and
fun.
it is absolutely, and it's a couple years old now, but it is absolutely one of the best Mario games in my opinion. I love that game, and you get like a Slimer version of Luigi called Gooigi, and he can do like different things and like go through bars and stuff like that. So it's like a fun game, and you're running around instead of a thrower, you got a vacuum cleaner,
Right.
and it's a really just a fun game.
That's awesome. So is there more of a like a Ghostbusters tie-in, or is that just kind of just slightly influenced?
It's just slightly influenced. I
Yeah.
mean,
Just
if you're looking for the Ghostbusters game, now there is a Ghostbusters game
right.
that came out for Xbox, and then they re-released it for the new system. So there's new
Cool.
achievements and all that. It's the official, unofficial Ghostbusters 3. So they walk you through like the original film, and then they take you on this horror ride through New York. And I mean, you get the fight Stay Puff, of course, and then you got these little
Yeah.
marshmallow minions that you take on. But this game actually, there's two horror elements in this that are absolutely creepy.
Ooh.
One is in the hospital, and there's these
Ooh.
little
Hospitals are
disembodied.
creepy.
They are, and then you add disembodied children voices and laughing. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. That's not good.
yes. No, it
Time to get out
scares
of
the yes. And there's black slime, so you get kind of a rundown
there.
on different slimes, and it's really it's kind of a creepy game, but it's still a fun game. It's a difficult game.
Yeah, when you're going through all the different slimes, you get to like, okay, let's test for texture. Let's do the taste test. This one's a little salty. This one's a little bit more, has a little, this one's a little low sodium. It's soy sauce. We understand.
It's soy sauce. Yes.
It's soy sauce.
This one's kind of peachy tasting. Ooh, banana strawberry. But you get like green slime, you got like tethered slime, you got pink slime. Yeah, there's just an infinite amount. I could go on hours on slime for you if you'd like on another podcast. So without a doubt.
Looks like we got a question from our COFOH guys.
Okay.
Any good Alien, Predator, or Terminator games? Oh, it's Brett.
Oh, Brett Leader 1. The original Predator game that came out with the Jaguar was a great game. And it was an Aliens game, and it was just creepy as hell because you're running around and it's like Aliens 2, and you got the radar and it's showing you where the aliens are moving, but you can't find them, and you're running around in the dark. And this was only available on the Jaguar system, and the Jaguar lasted only a few years, unfortunately. But that's kind of like the only real Aliens Predator game that comes to mind, unfortunately. Okay. I think that they're missing the boat because the Predator Aliens versus Predator game would be kind of fun, I think. Totally being honest.
Yeah, I would think so. It'd probably be a lot more successful than the movies were.
Probably.
Yeah.
Just a guess.
Yeah, I do enjoy Requiem, but I think that was even worse received than the previous one, which the first one I thought was like, if Alien and Predator existed in the WWE, that's what you would get. That seemed pretty reasonable. Yeah.
The alien's elbow.
The alien's elbow. That's nice. Yeah. Yeah. And then Jason's asking Nightmare Creatures 2. Do you know this one?
I do. So actually, Nightmare Creatures or Little Nightmare?
Oh, it just says Nightmare Creatures.
Nightmare Creatures. Okay. Yeah. That one I'm not familiar with, but there is one called Little Nightmare, which is probably one, and this is like probably one of the games that I rate the highest, and I think everybody should play. This is one of the ones I was going to say for last. We're going to talk about it now. Little Nightmares is an amazing game from the standpoint of it's very unique in how you play. You're not first person. It's kind of a side scroller, but you get a lot of the background. You're this little girl, running around on this giant. You don't know what it is to begin with. They call it the Maw, and it's just so creepy. And it's kind of a puzzle game, but you're going along and you're trying to figure out the story because you don't know if you're little in a big world or this is just how the world is, because you go from like little settings for your size and then giant settings for like adults or like beasts. And they've done comic books on this. They've done a couple of games for the series, but it is visually just stunning. And the monsters, you got Mr. Noodle Arms, which is just he can't see, he's blind, but he's got the hearing of a fox. You make any kind of noise and he like comes like right at you. So as the story progresses, there's like this where babies are being held in their cribs. You go through this kitchen area, and there are these they call them the big fat ugly people, and they're coming into.
That's kind of a broad stroke.
It is, and without spoiling anything, you don't know if they're eating the babies or the children, or I mean, it is a really dark, twisted game, but it's so creepy and visually just awesome. It is one of my it's my top 2 games that I would recommend for the podcast with you, that I just by far and away absolutely must have. If you haven't tried it, and I think it's like really inexpensive right now on like Steam or Game Pass right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, man, that sounds pretty amazing. And this is one of your favorite ones, right?
Yes, it is one of my favorite ones. It's not the favorite. I'll get to the favorite one, but that one is just So good. And the comic, yeah, you got to pick up the comic too.
Cool. Who did the comic?
I want to say it was IDW.
Oh, no kidding. These guys are
Yeah,
awesome.
they are. They do some great stuff.
Yeah, their horror stuff is fantastic.
Agreed.
But they're always doing like all these, wild and interesting adaptations too of other properties and other mediums. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, they kind of took all of like Dark Horse's properties and then just like ran with it. So
No kidding.
they've got tremendous product. I really like them a lot.
That's cool. Jason just got back. Looks like it's a PlayStation game with music from Rob Zombie.
Yes, I haven't played it because I don't have a PlayStation anymore.
Oh man. Well, after the pandemic, you can go over to Jason's house and you guys can play together.
I'm gonna come over, Jason. We're gonna hang out.
Yeah, I love Jason. He's along with like Brett. He's like the super volunteer for all kinds of different events.
Yes, he is. He's right there, frontline Jason.
Yeah. And he's a humanitarian. He's always doing some really cool causes.
Absolutely. Another game that's kind of like Friday the 13th, and it's just now come onto Xbox. It was a PC game, and it's called Dead by Daylight. And I liked it a lot better on PC than I do the Xbox, but that game, and it's just kind of like Friday the 13th, where you're in this multiple settings. The most common is like this junkyard, and you're running from a serial killer, and there's 22 different killers that are chasing you, and of course it's a rotation of whoever gets to be the killer.
Yeah, and sounds festive. I mean,
it's very festive because even one's a clown, and he like bombs you with these gas bombs, and you like start moving slowly. There is a clown. There's always a clown. So the thing about his game is you're running, the killer can slash you and cut you and take you down. He throws down bear traps to slow you down.
Yikes.
Yeah, nothing ruins your day quite like a bear trap in your ass. But when he catches you, he puts you on a hook, like a meat hook. He just hangs you there. So you can either try and pull yourself off of the hook, or you can have other people. Yeah, you're like, you just see yourself, because it's very graphic. If you hadn't figured this out, it's a very graphic. Yes.
Shit.
Well, you get your ass handed to you, and then he hangs you on the hook as like bait, or you just slowly bleed out. And if you've already been on the hook once, getting off the second time is a bit of a challenge. So you see yourself kind of like, and you're trying to pull yourself off the hook, and then, you either die and you wait for the next game, or somebody comes and save you.
Yeah, I just say just leave me alone, guys. Let's just it's fine. Let me bleed out. This thing hurts.
Go on without me.
Yeah, but take me with you, right?
Yes, just scoop me up. I don't care. Yeah, but you're supposed to like, huh?
Well, if it goes all the way through too, like it'd be like sitting there. And it's like, if you get me off, don't worry, I'll move faster because air just goes right through.
That's right. I whistle when I walk.
Yeah, that'll give away your position. It's like, hey, Whistler. It's not a cool name. It's actually, it's like, hey, aren't you? What's his bucket from the Blade movies? It's like, no, they're mocking me. Yeah, it's because I whistle. Yeah. Basically, it's the same sound as when I fart. It's just a whistling sound.
Bastards. But like some of the key elements of that game, though, you get generators to turn on lights. But it's a fun game. I mean,
cool.
Again, once you go through it a couple of times, the horror element is kind of is moot. It's just more of a tactic game, and trying to, again, we wanted to actually do this at one of the cons, and it was going to be kill your podcaster, and like all of us would be in. We would set up a Dead by Daylight section, and you'd have a chance to come and kill one of us, whether it be Red, me, Private Cheeseburger, Tao. So we never got to do that because it takes
Right.
up a
Yeah.
lot of space and getting
Right.
all the gear set up, but we still want to do that. We still want to challenge, like con goers or people to come and here's your
That'd be
chance to
cool.
kill your podcasters.
Yeah,
Because
that'd be really cool.
yeah, I know we don't always get along. We don't always see eye to eye. So here's your chance to even the score by putting me on a meat hook.
That's right. Here you go. Digitally I'm light. Yeah. I'm very errant. Yeah, whenever like Elise and I would go out, sometimes we would go out on dates, go to the arcade and everything. And of course, the single person shooter games that, we'd go check out, past anything that Star Wars and Jurassic Park or Batman. It was always the Alien games, and of course the Walking games, Walking games, the Walking Dead. The walking games. What are you doing? What's that game doing? It's walking away.
I'm walking.
Holy crap. Games are so advanced today.
They got a dancing game. Why not a walking game?
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that thing walk. It's like, no, walking is much, it's much harder to program. Dancing's easy. You just add a little cocaine to the programming, you're good to go.
Do a special appearance by Christopher Walken.
A special bump.
Because your son, the dumb fuck that he is, left his driver's license in the dead man's hand.
I had this cold piece of steel. Man.
You're
not comfortable.
Not comfortable.
As fuck. I don't think that was a good Christopher Walken, but it was fun to do, and I stand by it.
Stand by it. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Stand by your impressions.
Stand by it.
Yeah, I think there's a country song in there somewhere.
Ooh. Trace Adkins will sing it later.
No, please God, no. That's butchery. Oh man. Yeah, it's for me it's when I occasionally get out, can't remember any of the video games I play, but it's always so much fun to do it in the arcade. I think it's the setting, just having all those people around, looking at you like you don't know what you're doing, and they'd be right, but it just feels so much, so much, fun just being in that loud, vibrant but dark atmosphere.
Well, and I remember the days of arcades, like legitimate arcades. Aladdin's Castle here in town. I mean, okay. I still have like a crushed velvet bag that I got that came with tokens. All right, and even says Aladdin's Castle on it. It's my dice bag now for when I play D&D. It's spectacular. But I would go and spend an afternoon easily playing video games. The games today are they're not as, I don't know, lengthy, as engaging, but there's something to be said for, going in and just spending an afternoon just playing video games, button mashing and just trying to, I can't tell you how much money I spent on Gauntlet. That was I loved that game. Oh, the second one sucked.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think we had that on our NES system when I was a little kid, and God, that was so much fun. I would play that with my sisters, and it's just sitting there and just kind of figuring out different strategies, just trying to get through all the different gauntlets, and it's pretty straightforward. But man, it was a lot of fun.
Was, and I miss those arcades. Not that I don't mind going to Dave & Buster's or getting an adult beverage while I'm playing a video game, but I just think it kind of sabotages from the games. But the games are so different. The games that are there now don't survive well on consoles, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Because the shooters, the only shooter that I can think of is like Duck Hunt, and fuck that dog. Okay, I just.
Right, totally. Fuck you, dog.
Fuck you, dog.
You're the reason why I don't have a dog.
But there's no games really like that on the console. The Kinect tried with the movement games and the boxing games that came out with that, But
Yeah.
I mean, the Star Wars Connect game was kind of fun, where you're slicing stuff up and you got a lightsaber. But I mean, it was just, I think virtual is kind of trying to go that way now. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Right. I did have the privilege of at a buddy's house in Loveland. He's an engineer, so just yeah, any new gadget that comes out on the market, he's got to set it up and play around with it. But he's got a whole virtual reality setup, and God, it was so much fun. Elise and I got in there. You could had one program where you could sit there and you could illustrate a 3-dimensional world and all that.
Oh wow!
And then yeah, so you could sit there and do real time art, and then everybody can watch you create that art too. And then he had another setup where it was gladiator battles.
Ooh.
Oh, and this was way too much fun. And by the time I was done, like I think I ran into a wall at one point, and but by the time I was done, like everybody was curled up on the couch, just waiting for whatever my next movement was. So it kind of indicated like I had big swinging movements, and apparently I scared the hell out of a lot of people and stuff because I would go running into different areas and just it was cool. It was cool. I mean, yeah, it was bloody as hell, and you're battling gladiators and monsters and beasts and stuff, and it was really interesting just being so encapsulated in that world, and then realizing too that at the end of it you really need like a safe room with padded walls and stuff, and if you get out of a certain zone you get zapped in the leg or something, that way nobody gets anything demolished.
I think that's a fair. I mean, it sounds very Ready Player One-ish. I'm very jealous. I would totally get in on that. That sounds like amazing. But how tired were you at the end of it? Were you just like physically exhausted?
I was sore. Yeah, I'm an asthmatic, and I wasn't even paying attention to my own breathing because you're in this environment. You are literally swept away.
Right.
It's very transportive. So everything, is indicated. It wasn't until, I took the gear off and I saw their reaction and just like, what the fuck are you doing? And, then I'm like, that was real. Oh, I'm out of breath. Oh. Like, yeah.
I'm sweating buckets. Holy hell.
Yeah. It's just like, do you guys smell burnt toast? I can't feel my left arm. Is that good? Did I do good?
Yeah, that's normal. That's normal.
Yeah. There's spots everywhere. What's going on? It was great. It was so much fun. So we're trying to figure out. Well, I'm waiting on him. It's like, okay, how can we have this experience online? Obviously, for like if you could do a game thing, that'd be great. But just seeing like the art being created visually, how can you share that on online without that
apparatus
completely closing down your computer?
Right.
So, but yeah, So hopefully we'll be able to get a lot more horror video. Oh, you imagine that somebody's actually living the horror video game, and you get a heart. If I'm having an asthma attack and I don't know it, somebody's gonna having a heart attack. They probably don't know.
Well, and even talking about that, it makes me think of like another horror game, and this is probably one of the most recognizable games. It's BioShock, and you got the little girl, and then you've got Mr. Bubbles, Big Daddy. If anyone comes near her, he just wrecks him. I can only imagine being in the suit for virtual. That would be. I want to be Mr. Bubbles in a virtual suit. That would be awesome, because I really do love that game. I mean, it still creeps me out, and it's scarier than hell in some spots. It's just, but again, I think it's just you just get immersed into it. It's really, it's scary.
That's cool. Looks like Brett's asking, what's your favorite platform?
I lean more towards probably Xbox. I really enjoy the Switch just because of the mobile-ness to it. You can link it to TVs. You can do, a lot of linking to other Switches. The Switch has really opened up a lot of avenues for gamers, but for console, I live and die by Xbox, I think. I'm sure I have bought my last console with the Xbox X or whatever the hell they're calling the new one. This is probably my
Yeah.
last console, but it's just so pretty. It's just amazing.
Because it's a subwoofer.
It is. It literally, I mean, that thing comes up to my, I mean, of course I'm short, so coming up to my hip is relative. So, I mean, it may be like your knee, but dude, that thing is massive next to me. It's huge.
That's awesome. So yeah, with video games too, do you find like the experience like watching a horror movie versus playing a horror video game? Which one is more engaging? Do you think?
I definitely would go with the game side. Because especially
Mhm.
when I'll tell you my favorite game because I don't know how much time I got left, but especially for this game, just because of how engrossive it gets, and it's called Outlast. And if you haven't
Oh,
played
okay.
this
I've heard
game,
of it.
you need to. You're basically a reporter, and you're going to this asylum, and you have no
Ooh,
weapons, no guns, no nothing. So
but the
there are
pin, the mighty pin.
the mighty pen. Actually, you have a camcorder,
Oh,
but
there you go.
there's only three uh, effective strategies for this game:
Hmm.
run, hide, or die. That's it.
Ooh,
So
wow.
it's basically like you go in with a ghost hunter team. Like if like you went with Taps, remember like the old Ghost Hunters
I
show? Okay,
remember that. Yeah, that
it's
shit's
like
hilarious.
it is. But now you're in an asylum, you're running around, there are these weird things that are chasing you and you can't fight them. If it catches you, it kills you. So you are running, you are hiding, you're just trying to get the hell out. Even driving up to the asylum in the first game is just one of the more creepy.
Huh.
I would, if I was myself and not a Ghostbuster, I wouldn't even go in that damn place. I'd drive up and like, all right, well, I'm gonna wait for the sun to come up and fuck all y'all. I'll be over there. I am not going in there Be-
Oh,
because the graphics and the visuals that they put into this game are so great. And Wayne, that's the thing about watching the movies, because once you watch it, you get kind of desensitized.
right,
I
right.
mean, there are the classics. There are a couple that, I mean, maybe I would probably still watch and maybe get scared. But the games, you're in it, you're playing it, and
Right. It's
that.
immersive, and you're directly interacting with it.
Mhm. I mean,
Yeah.
and with Outlast, that game is just. There are some parts it takes forever to figure out how to just sneak through.
Yeah.
And there's jump scares, it's strategy, it is by far the most chilling. I mean, even the soundtrack just creeps you the hell out. You like take pictures and make notes. Even the music for the menu like creeps you the hell out. So you're like, no, it is. I wish they'd make a. Well, you can't make a movie of that, but I it's worth it. It's so worth it.
Nice. With a lot of this new technology, so virtual reality, that sort of thing. Yeah, might be kind of fun to have like virtual reality, films where you're in the environment. You can't really, unlike a game, you can't really participate, but it's just all encompassing.
I would love to see, and I like a choose your own horror. I mean, they've kind of done it with Black Mirror, where you choose your own avenue kind of thing. I really wish that they would do that on a more Wes Craven style, where you go in and
Right.
you choose the outcome for the movie. Of course, they've got everything filmed and you have like limited choices, but you still get to choose. So you get in
Ah,
there and you just
yeah.
I think that would be
That'd be cool.
spectacular. I would
Yeah,
love
that's
that.
good. That would be absolutely delightful. I love it. That would be really cool. Zach Hennessy just chimed in. Look at all that nerdy stuff behind Smurf. Sheesh! Is he broadcasting from my storage unit?
Yes, Hennessy, I am. It's going to be empty when you get here.
Yeah, yeah. Zach, don't sleep tonight.
Don't sleep. Guess what's on eBay tomorrow?
Oh, actually, I'll keep an eye on eBay.
Yes, I'm broadcasting from one side of the vault of my collection, and since I'm working on the display for the new statues, I had to box them up and throw them, on top of my comic book boxes, so they're up and out of the way because you can't get dusty. Heaven forbid something break. Oh my God, I would cry like a child. I would.
Yeah, that's definitely the easiest way to make us cry.
Yes, kick me in the nuts all you like, stab me, poke me, bleed me, whatever, but just don't break my statues.
Yeah, right. Oh, I know. Uh, Man, well, yeah, Smurf, yeah, thanks for coming on the show and everything. I've had below the ticker to weekend geek update dot com.
Yep.
So that's your update site, I think.
Yes, you can go to Facebook. We can, 5280 Geek is on Facebook. The webpage is 5280geek.com. Podbeam, Weekend Geek Update, is what the podcast is. So you can, and we always post the links on the page, on the website. So we're even Instagram. We're on Instagram. We have our Moment of Geek, which you're only going to see the Moment of Geek like pictures on the Instagram. That's specific to that format. So,
Right.
because I know you enjoyed my recent one with Samuel L. Jackson as He-Man.
Oh, it's awesome.
By the power of Grayskull, motherfucker.
Why don't they do that version?
I know. That would be great.
They haven't. They keep trying to go and do a new film version. I think they've been trying to do that since the Dolph Lundgren movie came out, and it's just like, cool. Why not just go straight for the fences on that?
Yeah. Aim for the cheap seats, baby, because they're missing out on that. But so you can go to Instagram, Twitter, 52. I mean, you go to my page right there. There's links. So we're worldwide, international.
Excellent. Yeah, I always thought so. You are an international man of mystery.
There are lots of mysteries.
Yeah. One of them is he wearing pants? No. There's no mystery there. That's just
none whatsoever.
But Smurf, we're going to have you on, I think, next month with Jimmy Drain and Bobby Lee Black to talk about Shoot from the Hip. Those set of movies, right?
We've got the Shoot from the Hip. I think he's going to talk about the Dead Rose. We've got a couple of stuff. I know we did a scene. Bobby Lee and I were in a scene just last month together. Nice. And of course, he's so creative with his mohawks that it's just the man's a walking billboard. That's what I'm telling you. And he's just creative as all hell. So he's fun to hang out with. But we've got all of that coming up, and Jimmy's hired. He's signed some very impressive actors that you would recognize. Actually, not only myself, but there are, some people we've worked with. In fact, it's through Jimmy that, I met Tony Todd, of course, and I've shot scenes with him, and we've worked with Tony on a couple of different projects, and the man is just so gracious, and Tony Todd is just a beautiful man. That's all I got to say. The man is just classic. And then, of course, talking about like vinyl and whiskeys, and just like, Tony and I have had a pretty good rapport built up. So
that's so
cool. There's other people. I don't think I can say the names that I want to, because I don't know. I don't want to let anything out of the bag. I don't want to steal Jimmy's thunder. But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about for that project, those projects.
That's so cool. Yeah, thanks for coming on today and educating me. Hopefully, informing some of our viewers, on video games and stuff, out there. Real quick, for those, that are interested in that subgenre of video games, what's a good starting off point?
Um, as far as I guess it depends on because I know a lot of people like horror movies don't like horror games. I mean, maybe just want to kind of tiptoe into it. Just like a fun game to start with is Plants vs Zombies. It's just, PVZ. It's a little fun. You're
Yeah,
either a plant or you're a zombie. It's
nice.
cool. I think probably the best one to start with, and the story is pretty compelling, would probably be BioShock. Outlast might be a little bit intense to start with, especially
Right.
if you don't like horror films or the genre, but it definitely will creep you the hell out. But I mean, like Button Mashers, Left 4 Dead, of course, Ghostbusters, which I always promote the hell out of. And
Right.
if you have,
You're a
and if you,
Ghostbuster.
I am a Ghostbuster. But if you have a Switch and you haven't picked up Luigi's Haunted Mansion 3, you need to do that. And of course, I'm always available. Send me a message through 5280 Geek or even directly on Facebook. I will be happy to talk games, geekdom, and all sorts of recommendations whenever. The phone's always on.
In that case, we'll see you at 3 a.m.
I may
Yeah.
not be sober, but the phone will be on.
Look, he's relearning English, honey. Listen. No. Well, Smurf, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure. It's always good to reconnect with your friends and see you face to face in this time of pandemic.
Yes, absolutely. Good to see you.
Oh, thank you, sir. And go ahead and hang out for a little bit. And to everybody out there, thanks for tuning in. And to our sponsors, Alien Donut Films, Bill and Angela, thanks so much for your support. My producers, Stefan Santa Cruz, Amanda Armstrong, thanks, guys. And everybody out there in internet land, be good, be kind, help each other out. We love you. Have a good weekend. Whoop, there's my hand.